Akeem Olufemi Gbajabiamila. God bless you all.
As Nigerians have either opted to remain where they are.
Lawmakers demand for immediate arrest of escalating armed banditry on the Kaduna Abuja Highway.
He told me this issue is only House will intervene because he don't know why.
House investigates non-implementation of 2020 Youth Empowerment Scheme despite presidential directives. It's good to be with you again on another fresh package of House Ticket as we educate you on the role and activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. On this week's package, lawmakers talk tough on escalating security situation on the Abuja-Kaduna Highway as they call for immediate and effective action on the matter. Highlights of other events during plenary of 23rd to 25th November 2021 include a bill for a constitutional alteration to make education and social welfare services mandatory by government, just as cases of drug abuse and establishment of a National Assembly hospital were discussed. The program begins right after this time out. Please keep watching.
We set our minds right, embrace each other in love and brotherhood. We will come through these troubling times. We will survive, we will recover, and then we will thrive. One nation under God, free, peaceful, and prosperous.
Thank you for staying tuned. We begin the program by reporting plenary proceedings in the 3-day sitting of the lawmakers where resolutions were taken on various national matters, amongst them investigation into the operational licenses to employment agencies as it relates to human trafficking and manipulation. These and more in this first report as compiled and presented from the studios. Keep watching.
Plenary proceedings for the week saw the debate at second reading of numerous bills, among them a bill for an act to regulate the planning, preparation and execution of the budget of the federal government of Nigeria and for related matters. The bill was presented on the floor of the House Thursday the 25th of November 2021 and sponsored by lawmaker Tajuddin Abbas.
The Fiscal Responsibility Act, Finance Control and Management Act, the financial regulations, among others, constitute the legal framework within which the Annual Appropriation Act, which includes the revenue and expenditure estimates of the federal government for a given year, is planned, prepared, approved, executed, and audited. These laws deal with one aspect or the other of the budget process. None of them have comprehensively addressed the processes and procedure of passing the Annual Appropriation Act. In other words, Nigeria do not have an organic budget law which focuses on the planning, preparation, passage, and execution of the annual budget of the Federation. It is this void that this bill is intending to address.
There was no debate on the bill. It scaled second reading and was referred to the House Committee on National Planning and Development for more legislative scrutiny. A second bill passed at second reading same Thursday seeks to establish the Nigerian Ginger Development Board, which will provide for the promotion and regulation of the ginger industry and for related matters. The bill has been referred to the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services. Other bills taken at second reading during the week in review include a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to make justiciable the fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policy as enshrined in the Constitution and for related matters. Lawmaker Sergius Oshe Ogun sponsored the bill. This was on Wednesday, the 24th of November 2021.
Government shall direct its policy towards ensuring that there are equal and adequate educational opportunities at all levels, shall direct, this is compulsory, so that people have the right to go to court does not mean that they will compel the court to give decisions in favor of anybody. In a situation where you have a state government keeping 20 billion of state money in an account, if somebody knows about that, can't somebody take that government to court and say, look, people require basic education here, and you are keeping money in a place like this that you're not accounting for? It's just to make people accountable.
During the discussion on the general principles of the bill, majority contributions disagreed with the bill's intentions.
It is something that is very difficult to be achieved. Because if this bill is passed, it's an invitation to chaos and anarchy. Because there is no state that will guarantee, to the extent of allowing it to be justiciable, putting food on every citizen's table, or providing health care to each and every citizen, to the extent that any act of failure or neglect on the part of the government will make the government liable.
These social nets, let me start by saying that socialism never worked anywhere it was tried. And granting of freebies to people has only collapsed countries. Examples abound. Venezuela, the USSR, and a host of others. The only thing that works is a system where people work and earn their keep. When you begin to say, for instance, that someone's right to social security should be justiciable, it will therefore mean that he can go to court today and sue his local government chairman or the state governor or the president for not giving him money for free. Money that he has not worked for, money that he has not earned.
If we'll be able to make this particular aspect justiciable, every person going into governance must know the nature of that office. And it's only when you know the nature of that office that you inspire for that office. And if you know you are not going to change the narrative, there's no essence of aspiring to that particular office.
The right of reply was given to the sponsor of the bill in order to convince his colleagues on the need to support the passage of the bill.
The Committee on Constitutional Amendments, where, like my leader, Honorable Sayosai, said that we will have the opportunity, the members and experts and consultants, to look at it. That's one. But I have also referred us, that is in the brief here, where the so-called objectives are listed in the Constitution from sections 13 to 21. And each of them starts with, government shall strive to do these things. Government shall strive. Okay, let me even just take 18. Government shall direct its policy towards ensuring that there are equal and adequate educational opportunities at all levels. Shall direct, this is compulsory, so that people have the right to go to court does not mean that they will compel the court to give decisions in favor of anybody. Government shall strive, government shall direct its principles and policies towards this direction. Okay, the government is even actually doing some of these things here. Now they have said free compulsory and universal primary education. That is basic education. He has mentioned free secondary education. Some state governments have given free adult literacy program. Do we not need that like yesterday?
I think you have watered down your argument more than urging us to believe what you are asking us to go for. Because if you are making a law that you know at the end of the day you are going to court and you are not going to have judgment in your favor or in favor of Nigerians, why are we then wasting our precious time? I thought you said it. No, he said is to go to court is not to say that there will be a judgment for you in favor. If we are not going to look for good judgment in favor of what has been found to be a kind of an infringement of your own fundamental human right, why then are you doing the law, making the law?
Majority voted against the bill, which therefore denied its passage for second reading.
Those in favor that the bill is raised second and say aye, against say nay, the nay serving.
Still on bills at second reading, on Tuesday, the 23rd of November 2021, a bill for an act to establish the National Assembly Hospital, Abuja, was considered. When established, the hospital is to take over the functions of the National Assembly Clinic and provide full-scale hospital services to the National Assembly community and render emergency healthcare to neighboring population and for related matters. The bill is sponsored by lawmakers Robert Tio and Eladi Baidu.
The medical facility provides that for this institution, as we now know it, was started in Lagos 40 years after honorable colleagues. This facility is there as a clinic that renders services for this institution. Unfortunately, in the past few years, the quality of service has dropped, and as we speak, that the facility as we have it now is inadequate to provide proper service for the large population that is meant to take care of.
The bill enjoyed the support of lawmakers.
I encourage our colleagues to support this bill and with a view to strengthen the clinic before ever we upgrade to a general hospital or a special hospital that is seek to achieve. We have to keep our eyes on the ball to equip our hospital to best standard so that people will stop looking for hospital care outside this country.
Seen that sometimes people collapse in the National Assembly and before they are rushed out to where they get proper care, they are gone. But if we had a good hospital that caters for this institution, those lives would be saved because there is no life that is not.
The bill has been referred to the Committee on Health Institutions for more scrutiny.
Against say nay, that's serving.
Same Tuesday, another bill scaled second reading, titled A Bill for an Act to amend the National Business and Technical Examination Board Act 2004 to improve the scope of the board to undertake contemporary business and technical examinations in line with the National Policy on Education, provide the general purpose of the results, certificate and awards issued by the board and for related matters.
I have with me here just samples of over 600 letters from young Nigerians who went through NAPTEP examinations, did the JAM, passed, went to the universities only to be rejected by the universities. And the ground is that the law establishing NAPTEP has not been upgraded adequately to cover the facts that they are sitting for some of the examinations they seek for. All we've done here, we're not adjusting the structure of NAPTEP, all we're doing is upgrading the certificates they cover in line with the National Policy on Education so that these universities will not be rejecting their certificates and the students that take them.
Contributions to the debate on the bill praised the objective of the bill and how it will further entrench vocational and technical skills in the educational system.
By the time that such certificates are being recognized, being accredited and issued by a recognized competent board like the MBT, the National Board for Technical Education, will have actuated, placed the holders of this certificate and also enable them to engage in petty businesses, thereby reducing the unemployment.
Anything technical in this country, I think we are just not being serious about it. Even HND that train people in technology and what have you are not giving desired placement. We've been moving bills here trying to make sure that there's no dichotomy between the HND and degree. But we've been having issues. And you can imagine best vocational training, this NAPTEP is a very, very fundamental way of examining our students who will go through vocational institution and probably get themselves even into polytechnics.
The bill was referred to the Committee on Basic Education and Services for further work.
And prohibit
At third reading, the House passed the bill for an act to abolish and prohibit dichotomy and discrimination between first degree and higher national diploma (HND) in the same profession and field for the purpose of employment and for related matters. On matters of urgent public importance taken for the week, the House on Wednesday, the 24th of November 2021, saw lawmakers call on the Chief of Army Staff, Inspector General of Police, heads of security agencies to take speedy action in curbing the daily occurrences of armed banditry attacks on the highways. This came up when lawmaker Abuja-Kaduna raised a matter of urgent public importance with a motion titled Urgent Need to Tackle the Recent Spate of Armed Banditry on the Kaduna-Abuja Highway.
Taking on attack consistently, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think it's something that the security agency needs to do something about it. And there are a lot of security information that report that there are bandits and terrorists ganging in Regina, and there's nothing is done about it.
We have a committee of the House, both on army, both on defense, both on police. We should mandate that committee to be giving us briefing every month. Today, we're interrogating issues as regard budget. And if you stray 2022 budget, you agree with me with no doubt that chunk of the money is security.
Fellow colleagues, I believe this is a very important matter before us. Security should be everybody's business. And the House have taken several and many resolutions regarding the safety and property of our lives and property of all Nigerians. I beg that we put the question. With the motion as amended, say aye. Against, say nay. That's have it.
Other matters of urgent public importance saw a motion on the urgent need to sensitize Nigerians on the danger of crystal meth.
In the part of Nigeria where we come from, the southeast, is nicknamed Urumiri. It has actually ravaged the youths of today. What this motion simply seeks to highlight is that there are gaps in terms of all the laws that we have made in this country today to fight drug abuse have not been, they have not been forthcoming.
The motion was largely supported.
How it's been weaponized in some jurisdictions, including Mexico, and presently in Nigeria, as of 2016. If we have such data, where is this factory? Where is it manufactured? Who are the traders? Including people who are trading in our host communities. This is where the law enforcement officers, particularly drug law enforcement, NDLA, comes in. And make sure we take meth out of the market.
I want to call on the National Orientation Agency that particular programs must be put in place to start from the primary school levels, secondary school levels, and even to the university and the general public to dissuade and disabuse our youth and the young children of this nation growing up on the dangers of drug abuse.
The federal government should develop a Marshall Plan to tackle the menace of these drugs. Bandits, terrorists use a lot of these drugs, criminals, and with this meth, if it's something not done about it, we will definitely get to a situation that where the whole country, and particularly our youth, will just be in the shadow of themselves with worsening situation of security, poverty, and death.
In my place, all you need to do is ask anyone where they're selling this. They'll point to the areas where they're selling all this stuff. So it's not even hidden. So you wonder what these NDLE agents, at least in my area, what they're doing. We need to actually, first of all, make sure that we fund the rehabs, because NDLEA, they have rehabs. They have rehab centers. We need to sufficiently fund those centers.
The motion scaled voting.
Those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye. Against, say nay. That's have it.
A third matter of urgent public importance taken during the week was on the issuance of operational licenses to employment agencies and labor recruiters as it relates to human trafficking and manipulation. The House called for an investigation into the matter.
Those that are more vulnerable are our youth in the villages, that their parents are possibly half literate. They go to tell them, I want to go and send your daughter, I'll take your daughter to school, I want her to go and learn this, I want her to go and learn that. On the pretense, immediately leave the shore of this country. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, it's so sad if you see what they normally do with them abroad. The receivers at that other end, I have not of recent heard, seen anywhere those that they have even rescued back into this country where consequences of the land, that is the laws of the land, have been caught up with them. People back at home here, those they have caught, we have not seen where they have been punished. So these are what we want these committees to find out, investigate, bring people to book, and let us know the way forward.
In a resolution on the motion, the committees of the House on Labour, Employment and Productivity, as well as other relevant committees, have been mandated by the House to carry out an investigative hearing on the qualification for the issuance of operational licenses to labour recruiting agencies.
Aye. Against any. That's have it.
Glad to know you're still tuned to House Ticket, sharing on the NTA Parliament every week. We've been reviewing bills and motions as well as other national issues that came up on the floor of the House through matters of urgent public importance. We'll continue along that line with more legislations in the Green Chamber for the weekend review being 23rd to 25th November 2021. From the order paper for the 3 legislative days, therefore, numerous motions were adopted. One of such, sponsored by Representative Kolawole Musibawu, was titled, Need to Honor Frontline Workers in the Treatment of COVID-19 Patients. The motion scaled voting without a debate, even as the House resolutions urged the federal government to honor all frontline health workers in the treatment of COVID-19 patients all over the country. Lawmaker Muhammad Gudaji Kazauri on his part sponsored a motion calling for investigation into the Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme.
I went to the office of the SSA, why this program, because it's a laudable achievement, why it's not implemented. He told me this issue is only House will intervene because he don't know why there is no funding after Presidential has approved this laudable achievement program.
The resolution adopted at the end of the deliberation mandated the House committees on Labour, Appropriation, Poverty Alleviation and other relevant committees to engage the coordinator of the scheme and the senior special assistant to the President on Youth and Student Affairs to explain to Nigerians reasons for the non-implementation of the scheme despite the presidential directives. The joint committee is to report back on the assignment in 2 weeks. Outside the chamber, the Kaduna State Lawmakers Caucus of the House called on the federal government to secure the Abuja-Kaduna Highway at once. This was the subject of a briefing to the press corps of the House over the worsening security situation in the country as incidences along the Abuja-Kaduna Highway have escalated.
This seemingly underestimated onslaught on our individual, collective and national security has continued unabated in spite of its seeming predictability. It is obvious that this should not be the case.
The briefing raised a question regarding the failed completion of the road project, alluding to the fact that the bad road could be a contributing factor to the escalation of bandit attacks. This was addressed by the caucus.
Indeed, the Abuja-Kaduna Highway is the key outlet for the transportation of persons, goods and services across Nigeria, and this is evident in the extraordinary traffic on it round the clock. For these and other reasons that cannot be accommodated in this statement, it is imperative that the secure state of Abuja-Kaduna Highway must be restored at once.
This is the much we can take on this package of the program. hoping you've been educated on the workings of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Until we meet again next time, do follow the program on our social media platforms on display. Don't forget to send in your feedback through questions, comments, and observations on the workings of the legislature, just as we want you to share with us videos of any project or program in your community through the various constituency outreach programs facilitated by representatives in the House. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.